and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart. Hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Chris and Murray's Plant Farm and How Good Is It to Be Alive?
I wish I was never born.
You've been thinking about that?
I've been thinking about it a lot. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me saying that A, that was very funny, and B, my reaction to it was fun. And I've decided it's just going to be my catchphrase now. Right. If Matt's going to say, how good is it to be alive, I'm going to say, I wish I was never born.
Kind of the polar opposite there.
It's great.
That's right.
It's good to have both sides of the argument.
That's Matt
there.
and I. We're yin and yang, you know?
If people don't get the reference, it's the Qantas bomb heist episode.
From a couple of weeks back now. Great episode. And that moment was very funny to us.
And it's I guess, shaped me. So
it moved you.
But
It
I'll
shaped
forget
you.
by next week.
It spoke to you.
It spoke to me.
Dave, how does this show work?
I was going to get in there to try and get Matt to explain the show, but I'll do it. I'll step up. Here we go.
Yep.
This week, what we're going to do is the same thing we've done every week for the last 390-something.
Try to take over the world.
And on the way to total world domination, we have researched a topic often suggested to us by one of the listeners. That's one of us has gone away, done a bit of research, bring it back to the others who have no idea what it's going to be about. Matt, it is your turn to regale us with a tale from history. And we always start with a question. Do you have a question?
I do have a question, yes. And this topic, you'll either know it or you don't. So I'm going to ask a tangential question.
Okay.
And the question is, which US state? I'm going to give you facts about this state. We'll go guess for guess. After each clue, you each get a guess. So you got 50 possibilities here.
Lucky we're equally good at geography.
But you're an Americanophile.
I am an Americanophile.
Yeah.
It's true.
Land of the free. I've always said that.
You're on a list.
I can't be within 400 feet of an American.
Yes.
Canadian, I'm coming right in.
Question is, which US state... Jess, you want to start off?
Sure.
First clue.
Oh, I thought there's going to be no clues if we just have a stat.
Just
Okay, yeah.
say a
First
state.
clue is the nickname is the Granite State.
Granite state. Granite is grey.
Mm-hmm.
What makes me think grey?
Good question. Great question.
I'm thinking North Dakota.
Cop that, North Dakota.
It is not North
Okay,
Dakota.
it's not North Dakota.
Okay, I'm going to go for South Dakota.
It is not South Dakota.
Okay, so it's back to me.
All right,
The next
Jess.
clue.
Fantastic.
It got statehood in 1788, the 9th state.
The 9th state.
Yes. So it's in one of the early states. And, most of the early states, that America sort of started mainly in the northeast and spread out from
Yeah,
there.
that means heaps.
This is really helping Jess here.
Yeah. I'm thinking one of the M ones, I'm thinking Mississippi.
It is not Mississippi.
It's not
Okay.
Massachusetts.
I'm thinking northeast. I'm thinking my beautiful state, home of the creamy, Vermont.
It is not Vermont.
Okay.
The population, as of 2016, is
cool.
1,334,795.
In the
people.
state.
In the state. It's a small state.
Small
There
state.
you go. That's a good clue there.
Can I look at a map?
Sure.
Can I know the answer? I mean, this game has gone to shit.
Okay, no, Dave's correct. He's put his foot down there.
I don't know if population's going to help me all that much.
So it's a small state. It's obviously not New York,
Yeah.
but it's... You want to have a stab?
Is it? I don't know. Dave?
Are you passing?
Passing.
pass.
All right, if you pass, you can pull up a map. All right, Dave?
Yes.
Maryland?
It's not Maryland.
Okay, great.
All right, fourth clue. Its capital city is Concord.
Oh.
You can't look that up.
I mean, that will be on the map.
Is it New Hampshire? But I didn't look that up. I looked up 9th state.
That's not looking up the map. It is New Hampshire.
Hooray!
I feel like Dave's been ripped off a little bit there, but fair enough. The further clues were biggest city Manchester, abbreviation NH.
Yeah, I might have got it then, but I was not going to get it sooner than that.
Now, this one would have given it away. State bird, purple finch.
Oh, New Hampshire.
Oh, the New Hampshire purple finch.
Yeah.
We all know
State
that.
flower, purple lilac.
Okay, I love
Very
purple.
purple state.
Love that.
So this topic was suggested by Andy Johnson from The Wirral in UK.
Okay.
The Wirral.
The Wirral.
Remember we once had Worrell from Wirral, and I laughed a lot.
So this week's episode is about one of the most polarising bands of all time, New Hampshire's own, the Shaggs. You familiar with the Shaggs?
I don't know the Shaggs.
The Shaggs.
The Shaggs. I hadn't heard of the Shaggs either.
Oh, okay.
But
They're polarising.
Polarising.
That's fun.
Interesting band. Very interesting band.
Okay.
Wonder why. Is it musical? Is it their history?
Is
we'll
it
find
their
out.
outfits?
Yeah.
Is it that after every show, which is great because they're great musicians, they punch a dog?
Oh, wow. One each?
No, just one dog per show.
But is it like how many members in the Shag?
3 members.
But they take turns.
Oh, that's awful.
No, like
sometimes
the
they
dog only
play-
gets punched once.
Okay, well.
The live band did have up to 5 or so members as well. So
But again, the dog only gets punched once.
right, they take it in turns, or is
Okay.
it? Yeah,
That's just that's a theory I have.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's true,
Polarising because some people love that.
but plenty don't. Plenty are like, oh, I don't think that's good. You know, they're really passionate like
I
that.
didn't know that. According to Susan Orlean, writing for the New Yorker, this is one of the. It's a big in-depth article, and it's what everyone quotes when they're talking about this band. Sort of the definitive history of the Shaggs. But according to Orlean, depending on whom you ask, the Shaggs were either the best band of all time or the worst.
Wow, that is quite polarizing.
Yes.
You are, yes, that's a real spectrum.
I don't think I'd say of many bands they were the best band of all time. You know what I mean? That's extreme.
I imagine just one band.
But what would you say is the worst band of all time?
Weed Hornet.
Oh, well, that's polarizing because I think they're the best band of all time.
They're my favourite band, named after a
Whippersnapper.
Apparently, Frank Zappa and Kurt Cobain were fans, but then Orlean quotes a music fan who claimed to be in the fetal position, writhing in pain, saying the Shaggs were hauntingly bad, and added, I would walk across the desert while eating charcoal briquettes soaked in Tabasco for 40 days and 40 nights not to ever have heard or listened to anything Shag-related ever again.
That's pretty extreme, especially because, like, if you're at a gig and you're not enjoying it, you can leave.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
There's no scenario where you're going to have to...
If you're at a point where you're ready to get into the fetal position, just go home.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Or just flick off the radio.
I'm gonna walk through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights.
Went with very biblical imagery there.
But then
as well.
updated it with was it a brick covered in Tabasco?
Briquette, like little barbecue fire starter type
yeah.
thing.
Right, after small bricks.
Oh, no, that's a good point. Charcoal briquettes. No, I
Yeah,
think
that's for starting a fire.
I thought it was a charcoal covered small brick. Based in Tabasco. That's good eating.
Dave the handyman over here.
Dave's getting hungry.
It's lunchtime.
So what's their story, you might be wondering?
I am.
Yeah, me too. And what's their sound? Who are they?
Well, let me tell you about it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. The Shaggs were formed in Fremont, New Hampshire, a small town with a population of around 5,000 people today. Though back in the 60s when they were formed, it was less than 1,000, 800 odd. It sounds like an unlikely town for such an infamous band to come from. According to Orlean, Fremont, New Hampshire is a town that has missed out on most everything. Route 125, the main highway bisecting New Hampshire, just misses the east side of Fremont. Route 101 just misses the north. The town is neither in the mountains nor on the ocean. It is not quite in the thick of Boston's outskirts, nor is it quite cosseted in the woods. Fremont is a drowsy, trim, unfancy place, rimmed by the Exeter River. Lucky it. But it basically, she's saying that it's just like, it's sort of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, there's no
defining features.
you don't pass through it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to. Like, yeah.
So the big highways bypass it, so it's just sort of out of place, out of time almost. But it's interesting, so even though it's not in Massachusetts, it's quite close. Its closest big city is Boston. It's almost like an hour, so it's like half an hour or something from there, I think.
Oh, wow.
Orlean also notes that apart from the Shaggs, the town is only known for being the hometown of the eminent but obscure 1920s meteorologist Herbert Brown. You familiar with his work?
Love Brown's work. Brown's Comet. He does weather. Realise it's a different thing.
Brown's Comet.
That's what he called the rain.
Oh, a lot of Brown's comets falling today.
Maybe this isn't catching on. Okay.
That's what he calls poop.
The other thing that it's known for is being the first place a B-52 ever crashed without killing anyone.
That's on the billboard.
That's on the billboard.
Well,
Driving into town.
home of the first crash of the B-52 in brackets where no one died.
That's good. That's nice.
The more stipulations you have to have on a first, the better.
The better.
Where no one died who was wearing a three-piece suit.
Yeah.
In the 60s, the main jobs in Fremont were raising dairy cows, working at the Exeter textile mill, or barrel building. They went to church and mostly lived quiet lives. In his book, History of Fremont, Matthew Thomas wrote, and Matthew Thomas is a local, grew up his whole life there, and he's sort of the town's historian, so he wrote a book about it, saying, there may have been some nice, pleasant times, but for the most part, death, sickness, disease, accidents, bad weather, Brown's comments, loneliness, strenuous hard work, insect-infested foods, prowling predatory animals, and countless inconveniences marked day-to-day existence.
Oh my God.
He lived there his whole life.
Get out. There's two highways really close.
And he's like, there might have been good times. I certainly haven't experienced them, but I'm just, I'm trying to be impartial as a journalist, but it's mostly dog shit. It's the worst. It's awful. I hate this place. I've written a book about
You
it.
could literally walk to Boston.
Yeah, just leave. You don't have to
important to get this
stay there. You don't have to
isn't it
stay in the
interesting?
town you were born in if you don't like it.
But I think, sometimes I imagine he'd probably be like, if you went there and said the same thing, he'd be like, how dare you?
100%.
This
yeah.
is my town.
It's like
we talk about that.
yeah, I can say anything to my brother. I'll call him every name under the sun. You look at him wrong, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, remember that time I called him a pastry puff?
Yeah.
You
were in
punched
hospital.
me in the face.
You were in hospital.
You punched me in the face.
I did.
Bob.
You deserved it. My brother is no pastry puff. Unless I say it, then it's very funny.
I misspoke. I meant to say, pass me a pastry
Nah,
puff.
you got to
But
punch
it
him
was-
in the face.
Before I could qualify,
You got punched
I
in
was
the
in
face.
hospital. When Orlean asked Thomas what it had been like growing up there, he said it was nice, but that he had been bored stiff. For entertainment, there were square dances, sledding, an annual carnival, and a barbershop and pool room. I think when a barbershop and pool room makes the list, it might be a pretty dull place.
Oh, gosh, I'm so bored. Might get a haircut. Okay.
There's nothing to do in this town. What do you mean? Go get your haircut.
I
Take your
just
brother.
got my hair cut yesterday.
Yeah, well-
I could use a trim.
Go get a sick fade. You look great.
Yeah, I mean, the square dancing sounds fun. Sledding,
That's fun. That's
fun.
seasonal, though.
An annual carnival.
Yeah,
This sounds
again,
like a festival town.
One time a year, it's fun.
Pool hall.
Come on.
A hall full of pools. Sounds fantastic.
The best.
So amongst all this, how did the Shaggs form? And this best or worst band of all time has come out of this town. Well, it's one of the less conventional band origin stories I've ever heard.
I'm so excited.
You have to go back a few decades before their formation for the beginning of this story.
Oh, we're really going back.
To a young boy named Austin Wigan Jr. Fantastic name.
Austin Wigan Jr.
Yeah.
Where was the... I wonder if only Austin Wigan was from the Wirral.
Wigan from Wirral.
Orge. That's what I'm going to call him. AWJ.
Orge.
Keep up, boys.
You're gorge. Nah, he's not the best.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so young Wigan's mother was a bit of a fortune teller, and one day she read his palm. According to Tom Taylor, writing for Far Out magazine, she said to her son something akin to the following: "You will grow up and marry a wife with strawberry blonde hair. You will have 2 sons with her, who I will not live to see. Then you will have some daughters, and these daughters will go on to form the greatest music group in the world."
Okay. That feels like less of a prediction from a mother and more of like a command.
Yeah.
Find this woman, marry her, 2 sons only, then 3 daughters, then great band.
Yes. So, like, I think you go, he's got control of that. Even if she just put the idea in his mind, subtly, he meets a strawberry blonde person, maybe thinks in the back of his mind, this is fate.
Yeah, this is her.
But that suggestion can't control the sex of the babies he has.
Not with that attitude.
Or maybe it can. I'm not a scientist.
Have a
I
bite
should
of
say.
lemon.
Oh, does that help?
Yeah.
Stand on your head
Yep.
for a boy.
Yes.
Stand on your feet for a girl.
That's right.
That's why there's so many girls in this world. So this was when he was still very young, kind of put it in the back of his mind and moved on with his life. Taylor continues. He was a conservative man with not much of an interest in anything but getting by, least of all music. He lived a quiet existence and kept himself to himself. Then one day, he met a woman with strawberry blonde hair. Her name was Annie, and the two got on quite well and ended up getting married.
No.
Wow.
This ticked off the first part of the Wicken prophecy. Then Mother Wicken passed away, which she also obviously predicted.
I told you I would die one day.
Wow, she's good.
And this happened just before Annie gave birth.
Okay.
Two.
A son.
Oh, my God.
What are the chances? I believe it's 50,
About 50,
50, 50, 51, 49 maybe.
Yeah. But the second kid,
Okay.
again a son.
What are the
Oh,
chances?
my
Remains 50-50.
Frickin' God.
But to have two, I think that is less than 50-50. It's getting less likely each time.
Oh, I think isn't it just the same every time you have a new child?
It's the same every time, but
Resets.
from the start, to have two sons is lower than 50-50.
Okay.
To have two sons, you're the maths guy, am I wrong? I think it's you're less likely to have two sons than you are to have one son. Like, it's more likely you'll have a boy and a girl than you'll have two boys or two girls, right? It's like, when you do that heads or tails thing at your trivia nights, what's
Yep.
the most likely one to come up when you flip two coins? One heads, one tails, right?
Isn't there like it depends on the coin with the slight weighting. If you flipped it 1 million times, then they don't weigh exactly the same.
wow.
So we have to find out Annie's weighting. Anyway, so
They got the two sons.
two sons. So the only thing now that needed to happen for the prophecy to come true was for them to have multiple girls
And, then
and those girls to form a band.
the greatest
Yeah.
band of all
Become the
time.
greatest band of all time. So probably the easy bit's been done.
Would you say that's 50?
That's about 50-50, yeah. But they had three daughters. Dot, Betty, and Helen. And Rachel after that as well.
But who, obviously we don't give a shit about Rachel.
Rachel played bass a little bit. But,
Okay.
but the core of the band was Dot, Betty, and Helen. Two guitarists and a drummer.
Oh, give Rachel a tambourine and be done with it.
Honestly, Rachel, you were a mistake. Okay.
You've got no rhythm.
Your mother and I had a fight and we made up, and unfortunately you were the result of
We
that.
made you.
And you were not part of the prophecy, but your sisters seem okay with you hanging around. But just know,
It's also weird.
nobody cares about the bass player.
I really wish there was more specific on the number of daughters as well.
Yeah.
Some daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've left yourself a bit of wiggle room there, haven't you, Mama Wigan? Bit of Wigan room, as she might say.
Like wiggle room. That's fun.
As Taylor writes, Austin Wigan Jr.'s life may have been beige on the surface, but the one Achilles heel to his humble normality was a profound belief in superstition. After all, if everything his mother had predicted to this point came true, then why not the grand payoff?
Like you said, the hard part's been done.
You're cruising to the finish line
Oh,
from
great.
here.
Fantastic. I'm just going to quit my job. Giving these kids a couple of instruments,
Now sit back and
a
wait.
few months of piano lessons each, we're good to go.
Okay, you do know the story. As Orlean wrote, it was left to Austin to fulfill the last of his mother's predictions. And when his daughters were old enough, he told them that they would be taking voice and music lessons
Okay.
and forming a band. There was no debate, his word was law, and his mother's prophecies were gospel. But as Taylor writes, the issue was that simple chance had borne out the auguries so far, but it takes more than that to form the world's greatest band. Thus, what followed was a farcical folly of misguided mindset in every which way. Austin pulled his daughters out of school for reasons unclear to even those involved. He bestowed them with out-of-tune instruments and arranged fleeting vocal and music lessons with what little change he could spare.
If they're guaranteed to be the greatest band in the world, you don't really have to put much effort in. You don't need to bother tuning the instruments. You could give them a guitar with no strings, and they'll still somehow find a way.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't even have to give them a guitar.
No,
They'd
go for it.
just walk home one day and find a guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Taylor here says that no one really knows why he pulled them out of school, but it sounds like it was because there was no high school in the town. They had to catch a bus to another town. He's like, that commute time could be
That's
band
precious
practice
time. Yeah.
So instead,
You don't need to learn to read other than music.
other music, which I don't know how to teach.
But you know that already, right?
I have no interest in music. Yeah.
I cannot carry a tune.
That's your thing.
We don't either.
I'm not big on music. No. You are. You love it.
You love it. I detest music. You're good.
It's your thing. They liked music apparently, but they had no interest in pursuing music. They like listening to pop radio, basically.
And what sort of age group are they when they're forced together in this band? Are they young
Teenagers.
teens? Yeah, right.
Wow.
A few years apart.
Sucks to be the older brothers who were just ignored.
They ended up on tambourines and stuff at some of the live shows.
Wow.
Orlean says they were shy, small-town teenagers who dreamed of growing up and getting married, having children, maybe becoming secretaries someday. But Austin pushed the girls into a new life, and he named them the Shaggs.
The Shag. That's the dad's name.
The dad's named them that.
The Shag.
The Shaggs.
Why?
Well, according to Erwin Chusard in his book Songs in the Key of Z, The Curious Universe of Outsider Music. The first chapter's all dedicated to the Shaggs.
That's
Songs in the
great.
key of Z.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love that.
Oh, or probably
Key of Z.
Key of Z. Oh, yeah, that sounds way better.
Sounds way better.
My favourite band, ZZ Top.
I love JZ.
Love that. JZ, fantastic artist.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I don't know what it is. You've been saying fantastic a lot lately.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Because
sort of
you say
slightly
it like,
pompous
oh,
and-
fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
That is fantastic. I think that's a Sam Petersonism. Do you
Is
reckon?
It does say fantastic.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, yes, yep.
I have been hanging out with the great man a lot lately. He's really rubbing off on me in a very positive way. Love that guy.
He's rubbing off on me in a real fantastic way.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
So anyway, Chusard, in his book, The Key of Z, wrote, the name Shaggs, devised by their father, referred to both shaggy dogs and the then popular shag haircut. It was a twofer. Much like the Beatles, it had two meanings.
Too many. Shaggy dogs, which are cool. Shaggy haircuts, which are cool.
Apparently, when the Beatles hit America in the mid-'60s, blew up, and he's like, oh, yeah, well, they're big now. But obviously...
Just wait for the Shaggs.
But he was sort of inspired. He's like, yeah, we're going to do what they're doing, basically, only bigger.
That's wild.
We're going to be twice as big as Jesus, okay? 2 times.
So the girls like listening to the music on the radio, but they'd never attended a concert. They'd never seen live music. Dot later said, our father didn't believe in them. Not for us to go to anyway. Just for us to all of a sudden perform at.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, why would you go to a concert where you could sell out your own Madison Square Garden concert?
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
Why pay to go to a
Exactly.
concert when we could be making
Exactly.
millions?
Oh, the confidence of this man.
You don't do your job when you're off the clock. So why would you go?
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I can sort of say he's a superstitious guy. These, like, you would just be like, holy shit. These things are all happening as Mum said. So I guess this is, if you believe in it, you believe in it.
Yep, it's all lining up. But it's just funny to sort of, to just believe that it'll just happen. Like he's not really making the right steps.
No.
To make it happen. It's very funny to be like, well, this will just come naturally to you.
he's
And
got
that's not what Mum said.
No.
She wasn't like they'll all be musical prodigies. They're just
Yeah.
going to be a big bet. So you need to they need to see what a gig is.
Yeah.
They
He's
need
got
to
blind
learn
faith.
an instrument. Yeah, 100%. He's filled in some gaps on his mum's prophecy of like they'll just be prodigies and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing.
We'll just start at the top.
Yeah.
And we'll work our way up from there.
Yeah, we'll create a new top.
Yeah.
A ZZ Top.
So yeah, he was homeschooling him and he was making him practice mainly music all day. So much so that they found it a real grind. Where it wasn't really fun.
Fingers are bleeding on the recorder.
It was never particularly positive about the way they were playing, even though he had no interest in music.
Yeah, this all sounds terrible to me.
Yes.
But so do the Beatles.
He has no idea. But yeah, it doesn't sound like he was a good dad, obviously. So yeah, they rehearsed in the morning, the afternoon, then after dinner. He also made him do calisthenics for some reason, which I'm not even
Gotta
fully
keep
sure what that
cardio
is.
up.
That's a cardio thing. Yeah.
Beyonce rehearses on a treadmill.
Well, there you go.
You know, got to keep that cardio up.
She probably follows the Wiggins
Yeah.
route to success.
Because you know how active they are and they're dancing on the stage and stuff. You got to be able to still hit those high notes. Nobody wants to go to a concert of the best band in the world and hear them going, you know? So your cardio fitness has to be
Right.
through the roof.
So they
Very important.
are wheeled onto stage on treadmills.
That's right.
And then they just start strumming.
That's right. Maybe I'll do a comedy festival show on a treadmill.
You know, like a guy, I saw someone do that a couple of years ago.
Yes.
The guy that he won the best comedy at Edinburgh?
Did a show on a treadmill.
The Perrier Award?
And it was quite a dark sort
Very
of show.
full. I think it's got Monkey See, Monkey Do was the name of the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did the whole thing on the treadmill.
Okay.
And
Never
sorry,
mind.
Jess. Sorry.
What about on an exercise bike?
No one's done it.
Yes.
I think, and I'm pretty sure ATB, Alistair Trumbo Birchall, was had a similar idea, and then it got like around that time, it's like, oh, you're kidding.
God damn.
Who would have thought that would
Damn
be?
it.
Someone beat me to the treadmill.
Richard Gadd was the name.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But maybe I could get sponsorship from Peloton. Get a Peloton and do it on a Peloton. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah. Get Peloton involved.
Perfect.
I love this.
Maybe have a Mr. Big, life-size doll. Could be somehow built into the show.
I forgot about that.
I just love that. I've just looked this up, to find out at Monkey See, Monkey Do Comedy Festival. And the first thing that comes up is a review from The Age. Keeping in mind, this show won Best Comedy at the Edinburgh Festival, biggest comedy festival in the world.
Yep.
2 stars.
Incredible
Really?
stuff. Incredible
So
stuff.
would you say that's a polarising show?
Oh, yeah.
I guess so.
Amazing.
Has a bit of the
Reviews?
shags about it.
It's so funny, like when a review is for your show, it means everything, and you take it very seriously. But other than that, you're like, oh, this is all it's dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
That doesn't matter.
This makes you laugh.
some stupid person's opinion about one night and their very specific taste.
Yeah.
I reckon some are better than others.
Of
some
course.
reviewers, and there are some of mine that I read and I go, I can. There's things to learn from this.
Yeah.
But there's others that are like,
Oh, you just didn't.
you're like,
wasn't for you.
You didn't understand this at all.
My favorite is when they're in a room of an audience who are loving it.
Yeah,
The audience is having a great time. They're laughing. They're whooping. It gets a standing ovation. And the reviewer's like, not very good.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, and it's like, yep. Mhm.
And they have the sort of the blind spot of saying it, not realize even
Yeah.
as they're writing out. Everyone seemed to be loving it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, I mean, it's a comedy show.
Yeah,
people are laughing.
they
That's
were
got to be
enjoying
one
it.
of the key the key aims of it.
It's one of the KPIs for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely one of the KPIs.
Thanks for putting it in language that I can understand.
That's right. Real business
As
terminology.
as an accountant,
That's right.
unpracticing and unqualified. Did it in VCE though. It was
400 years ago.
one of those.
Congratulations.
Top of my class, but
Had abacuses back then.
no, they weren't quite around. But
Anyway,
everything
sorry.
was if it wasn't counting up to 10, we didn't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. We detoured there. I'm sorry, Maddie.
It was before toes. So
Before time.
that was I grew up pre toes.
Wow.
So he's homeschooling them. He's working them to the bone, making them practice all day and night. They hated it. He was quite cruel about it, according to Orlean. One song in particular, Philosophy of the World, he claimed they never played right, and he would insist on hearing it again and again. This is a guy who doesn't have an interest in music, didn't write the song, Dot wrote it, but he's saying you're doing it wrong. I don't really like music. I don't get music, but you're not playing this right.
You're not playing your song right.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
love that.
But the daughters would also say, they would agree they're not the best. They don't think they're a great band or anything. They're pretty aware of what's going on, but he's a bit deluded about it all because of the prophecy.
Yeah.
But they're not all in on the prophecy. They
No.
don't think it's just going to happen.
Yeah,
They're a bit
that's
like,
right.
what are we doing,
They're
Dad?
like, Dad's a bit of a kook.
Yeah. But they lived quite a sheltered life because he's taken them out of school.
Yeah.
Apparently they were already kind of outsiders when they were in school, and now they're fully sheltered from the town.
It's because they were wearing head-to-toe merch for the band that didn't exist yet. Well, the Shaggs.
Shaggs.
So Orlean continues, the Shaggs were not leading rock and roll lives. Austin forbade the girls to date before they were 18 and discouraged most other friendships. They hadn't been popular kids anyway, but being in the band and being homeschool set them apart even more. Friday nights, the family went out to do grocery shopping. On Sundays, they went to church, and the girls practiced when they got home. Their world was even smaller than the small town of Fremont.
Wow.
So they
really only had each other.
like just the fact that it's noted that they went out on Fridays to go shopping.
Yeah.
That's one of their weekly excursions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an exciting event.
Grocery shopping and church, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. What a nightmare. That's how you get inspired to make art.
I don't even grocery shop anymore.
Yeah.
Get that shit delivered.
Your world is even smaller than the small world inside the small world of Fremont.
Yeah, that's right. You don't even leave your house.
I don't.
Thanks so much for zooming in today.
We're in my house right now. My house is so big.
Yes.
And sometimes I have to get in a car and drive 30 to 40 minutes to get
The world is my house.
to another part of my house. Melbourne is my house.
So it was the mid-60s. Rock and roll and popular culture was becoming rebellious. Though Orlean writes, in Fremont, Dot Wigan was writing tributes to her mum and dad with songs like Who Are Parents? With lyrics like, parents are the ones who really care. Who are parents? Parents are the ones who are always there.
Great stuff.
This is
Some
nice.
kids think their parents are cruel just because they want them to obey certain rules. Parents do understand. Parents do care. So that's one of their songs.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs that I think like you're listening to it and it sort of doesn't matter. Like Dave and I could be listening to it, right? And Dave and I could be going through really different things in our lives, but both of us take something very different away
Yes.
from it. And I think that's the real power of music.
But at the
and
same
art.
time, it's universal.
Yes. Isn't that? And that's tricky.
Yeah, to do everything all at once.
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Wow.
That sounds like a mega hit to me.
Yeah.
How many streams on Spotify?
I think I'm on camp best band in the world.
Yeah,
currently.
so far, me
yeah.
too.
And I think I'm in there too somewhere. So they played their first public show in 1968. It was a talent show and the band did not think they were ready. They're like, Dad, we're not ready to play publicly. Please don't make us play publicly.
How long have they been a band for?
About 3 years, I think they've been sort of.
Still not ready for a show.
Well, and they've only ever been to a supermarket or church. They've never even seen a band play.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
They've only ever heard Cole's radio.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah, it
like
actually
it
is.
slaps.
I love when you're cruising down, you're like, oh, Fleetwood Mac, yes, please.
Yeah. I think that could be my next career step, I think.
DJing Cole's Radio.
I hope so.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
You go, Mr. Bombastic comes on. Yes.
Does someone back announce tracks in Cole's?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I must zone out when I go there.
I thought it was just, this is Cole's radio.
Nah, sometimes you actually hear.
They're doing that live every time.
In every shop.
I mean, they're not doing talkback, you know.
Okay.
There's no text in or anything,
Oh.
but and I'm sure they probably say fun stuff about specials at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Or remember to scan your Flybuys card at checkout. Okay, on to Cyndi Lauper
Great.
on Cole's Radio.
Grab a
There's lot of that.
reusable bag.
Yeah.
They won't cost the earth. That was what when I used to work at a supermarket, our full-time trolley man, he took it on himself to really, this is years ago, obviously. They were just a pretty new thing. It was going hard on, let's stop using the plastic bags. But he came up with all these catchphrases. It was sick.
And
And
he was doing it
he'd
live.
just go grab the PA sporadically and plug the bags.
Love
Just
that.
What a legend.
pushing his commie agenda.
But it was it was the best. What a guy.
Just it was
Yeah, just
freestyle on the
like-
mic.
He's just like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
And he's the trolley guy.
he's a trolley guy.
and he's like, I'll take
got
this.
this.
I'll take
In a
this
lot of
next.
ways, that was not in his job description.
Oh, yeah,
but
in a lot.
I like that he took it on himself.
him.
Love that.
He was a real company man.
The Woolies hype man.
Yeah.
Good on him.
He taught me everything I knew. So I I sort of worked with my first week with him. He taught me the ways of the trolleys. Man, that was probably one of the best
sort of
jobs
like
I've
put
had,
his
trolley man.
He put his ear to it, started rubbing it, saying, if you listen, you can hear him purr.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was one of the best jobs you ever had. That is offensive to say to us, your colleagues.
Well, no, the current, like I think now, that was probably my favourite job
Okay,
I've ever
great.
had.
I'll accept that.
But
does sound
obviously,
pretty
I feel
fun.
like it's daylight second, of course. Working with you too. Oh my God.
A dream.
A dream come
team.
true.
God, we're great.
So first ever gig.
It was told in a prophecy to me once. What's a podcast?
They
That's what I
haven't
remember
been
saying as a
born
kid.
yet. Your co-hosts have not been born yet, and they won't be for quite some
I have
time.
to recruit 2 younglings.
Take them under your wing.
That's right.
Matthew.
Grab them from their parents' house when they're a baby. Put them in front of a microphone. They'll know what to do.
See, officer, it's not weird.
They're podcasting prodigies.
Yes. The prophecy said they'd be prodigies.
We've been doing this, from a very young age. What were we, 25 when we started
God,
this podcast?
that's
That's
young.
young.
That is so young.
That's teeny. We're babies. I can't think of anybody who's done a podcast younger than that.
No.
We were but little children.
Tiny
Yeah.
little children.
Yeah, your parents were pretty full on when I snatched you too. They said, thank you.
Get her the fuck out of this
Thank
house.
you.
Can you get her to move out too?
She's
Jesus
25.
Christ.
Anyway, so they're playing their first public show.
First gig, they're not ready for it.
They're
but
saying
okay.
we're not ready.
Yep.
And it's a competition.
It's a competition. It's a talent competition. According to Orlean, I don't know how well you think it might have gone. Any guesses?
First place and second place.
Oh, yeah. That's how
I
good
think
were.
they were disqualified.
Okay, for being too good.
Yes.
According to Orlean, the girls could barely play their instruments.
Oh, they've been together for 3 years.
Yeah, but they've never actually had a lesson.
Fair enough.
And there's not YouTube back then.
They had a few lessons, but yeah,
They're so sporadic. the lessons.
and they were also like, the family were very poor, and the dad put all the money he could into the instruments and a few lessons, but yeah, they just couldn't afford many lessons at all.
No one taught them how to open the guitar case. They just had them on stage sort of banging them.
Yeah, they
like a drum.
I thought they were percussion.
No one's shown us how to open
I
this.
don't know.
So they opened with a cover of a country song called Wheels. When they did that, people in the audience threw soda cans at them and jeered.
No, they're teenagers?
Teenage girls on stage at this tiny town. Everyone would know everyone there. Isn't that outrageous?
And they don't want to hear a country song?
But also it's like, oh, they're having a go and they're not doing a great job at this talent competition. Isn't that the wildest
Throw
thing?
stuff at them.
Unbelievable.
Apparently the girls were mortified, but Austin told them they just had to go home and practice more.
Okay, yep.
This happened at all of the Beatles' early concerts. This is a good sign.
This is
a
the
good sign.
natural step. And look, it's not bad advice from a parent to be like, hey, disappointments happen. We pick ourselves up. We keep going. But also, they don't know how to play their instruments.
You gotta, practice. You gotta practice well. Perfect
Just
practice
figure it
makes whatever that saying is. That Halloween, they played at a local nursing home.
Oh, God. How many fatalities were there?
Happy Halloween!
Their set featured one of their originals, a song by Dot called It's Halloween. Pretty appropriate.
Great.
As
Right,
an
what you
improvement from their debut show, they received a polite response. None
Okay.
of
There was
the elderly
only a
threw
few
things at them.
cans were thrown.
So we're on the oldies can't throw the cans that far.
If they could have, they would have.
Oh, 100%. An old man did die in the audience, but
He was like, thank goodness for that. I feel my heart stopping.
great timing, Heart. Hooroo.
A very polarising band. Some people would throw things at them. Some people would sit politely, both ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
After this, Austin got them a Saturday night residency at the Fremont Town Hall. They played every Saturday night for years from then on.
And the town hall wanted the band that had caused a riot, basically, had people throw cans at them.
Yeah.
I suppose it's town. Are they the only band in town? There's only a few hundred
Basically,
people there.
and people would turn up and they'd dance, even though the music was a bit weird, and they'd sort of just dance strange. Someone who went there a while later was like, it was like the crowd was zombies. They were just sort of dancing in this weird zombified state. It was really odd, apparently. According to Chusard, Austin, as quality control chief, was on hand for every performance. He strutted the corridors of the town hall and surveyed the musical proceedings from the dance floor, wearing a homemade pin that read Shag Manager, which is not even the name of the band.
Hang on. What are you guys doing in that bathroom? I'm in control of this.
According to Orlean, the whole family took part in the town hall shows. Austin III, the eldest son,
Austin the Third.
played the maracas. The other son, Robert, played the tambourine. Jess, you were
great.
keen on that.
Just got canned for the brother.
But Robert also
Sorry.
did a drum solo during intermission. And I guess he's the less good drummer.
For how long? How long did intermission?
During intermission.
Everyone's going, oh, a break.
Hey guys, if you just want to grab a drink, use the bathroom, we'll be back in about 25. Take it away. Like a full John Bonham 30-minute drum solo with a guy who can't play. Incredible.
I'm assuming he can't play. Maybe he can play really good, but in the prophecy it said daughters, not
I know,
sons.
that's right. Every week he's like, hopefully Dad will
Yeah.
notice that I know what I'm doing.
Austin III is a great drummer, and Robert has the voice of an angel, but he's like, no, my daughters.
Prophecy is the prophecy. Even though, according to one town hall regular, most people found the Shaggs music painful and torturous, sometimes as many as 100 kids showed up at the dances, practically the whole adolescent population of Fremont.
Well, there was nothing else to do.
Exactly. There wasn't anything else to do. The audience danced and chatted, heckled the band, pelted the girls with junk, ignored them, grudgingly appreciated them, and mocked them. They got a bit of everything.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's a nightmare. Remember the report I did about the
Cherry Sisters?
Yeah,
I was thinking about that as well. This.
When people would go along, that's part of the quotation marks fun was to
they were
mock
terrible,
them.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for these people.
Yes.
I don't. It's a bit funny.
I mean, the drum solo in Indonesia, it's the loudest instrument you can do. It's not like he'll
do a maracas solo.
He'll tinkle the ivories with a bit of, lounge music.
Yeah.
And he's hitting the shit out of a drum kit.
So good.
And don't forget, don't feel too sorry for him. Remember, it's one of Kurt Cobain's favourite ever bands.
Yeah.
And Frank Zappa loved them. Like, they have big fans as well.
Okay.
That happens in a little bit of time. Not that, anyway. So Austin, despite all this, the really quite negative responses they're getting regularly, and you can only imagine what that'd do for your self-esteem fronting it. Like, imagine going into that. I guess you become numb to it.
Every Saturday night.
But, geez.
Yeah, brutal.
Austin still believed his daughters were on track to become the greatest band of all time.
He had a little graph. Yep. We're about here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great. Fantastic.
He had a
trend up from here.
successometer that he was filling up.
Great, you're already 100 out of 100 as far as I'm concerned.
Perfect.
He didn't have much money, but what he did have, he spent on the band. He got a camera and filmed the town hall shows, all in the hope of finding them a larger audience. Things weren't moving as fast as he was hoping, though. So the next obvious step, of course, was to record an album.
Yes.
Of course.
I was thinking, when are they going to record an album? That seems like the obvious thing you'd do.
When will they record their first hit record?
But of course, recording an album would be expensive. And according to Taylor, he pawned possessions, worked night and day, and saved every penny he could to ensure that their debut album, Philosophy of the World, would come to fruition.
Wow, the song that he was criticising for playing is the title track.
Wow, I think he sees it as their magnum opus, sort of that phrase is. With the house pilfered of worth, his 3 fated daughters were set for the studio. Just imagine their house. They go home like, where's the couch? That's gone into the studio fund.
Where are our beds?
Studio fund.
Also sold that to the recording studio. They go there and the guy's like, this is awesome. Thanks for this couch and these beds.
Yeah, they're using it for like sound insulation. According to Orlean, in March 1969, he took the girls to Fleetwood Studios to make a record. According to the magazine Cool and Strange Music, the studio engineer listened to the Shaggs rehearse and suggested that they weren't quite ready to record. Sort of politely saying, maybe, don't spend the money now.
Yeah.
Keep practicing, come back. But Austin insisted on going forward, reportedly telling the engineer, quote, I want to get them while they're hot.
Don't say that about your kids. But the sound engineer who hears a lot of music and could just take your money.
Yes.
Could just take your money. Is trying to say they're not hot. They're cold.
The problem is, I think when you're like, you don't get it, this is a thing that's going to change everything.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's not right to you.
Yeah.
But that's because this is a brand new thing.
Yeah.
If you're really, you see it on like those Shark Tanks kind of shows sometimes where they've got this business idea that they think is going to change the world, and the sharks or the dragons go, this is not anything. And they're like, I've put my whole life into this. And you're like, this is brutal.
Yeah.
I can't watch this anymore. I'm living out of my car. I've sold everything to make this card game. We're not sure that this card game, it's very convoluted.
Is worth the $1 billion you're asking for.
For $1 billion, you can have 1% of my business.
But
take it or leave it.
The sunk cost fallacy comes into play.
Yes.
Like, I've put everything into this. I need this to work.
It must be good.
Yeah. Brutal. So anyway, he's like, we got to get them now. They're peaking. They're right in the zone. We got to get them.
They are peaking because they don't know how to use a microphone. They're screaming into it.
So the album's recorded, and this is what the album liner notes say. One article said that they're not sure who wrote it, but Orlean thinks it was Austin who wrote this himself. Quote, the Shaggs are real, pure, unaffected by outside influences. He didn't let them really listen to music much because he didn't want them influenced.
Okay.
Their music is different. It is theirs alone. They believe in it, live it. Of all contemporary acts in the world today, perhaps only the Shaggs do what others would like to do, and that is perform only what they believe in, what they feel, not what others think the Shaggs should feel. The Shaggs love you.
What?
They will not change their music or style to meet the whims of a frustrated world. You should appreciate this because you know they are pure. What more can you ask? They are sisters and members of a large family where mutual respect and love for each other is at an unbelievable high. In an atmosphere which has encouraged them to develop their music unaffected by outside influences, they are happy people and love what they are doing. They do it because they love it. Some of it's a bit defensive, isn't
That's
it?
really justifying
100%.
it. No, they love it. They're happy. Don't ask them. Don't ask them.
Don't
They're
ask
very
them.
happy.
They're very happy. This is what they want to do.
They
Certainly
love
not a
you.
prophecy. They're not doing this because of some weird palm reading when I was a kid. Weird thing to suggest.
Yeah, that's crazy of you.
It's just coincidental that happened, but they're doing it because they love it.
They love it and they love you. That bit was weird.
That bit was weird. They love you. The Shaggs love you.
The Shaggs love you.
The Shaggs love you.
Okay.
I love the Shaggs.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty full on, but also it's kind of amazing. There's this guy, Bobby Hearn, who worked at Fleetwood, and he saw it all happen, as Chusard called it, the ensuing debacle of the recording session. So yeah, Bobby Hearn was later quoted talking about Austin, saying that he came into Fleetwood and said he needed to cut some sides because he was the proprietor of the band, the father. He called himself the proprietor.
Okay.
He brought them in and they did this stuff. We shut the control room doors and rolled on the floor laughing. Just rolled. It was horrible. They did not know what they were doing.
And you'd be hoping for a soundproof studio in that instance. They are laughing on the floor.
Yeah.
Sorry, just 1 second, girls. Close the door. Oh my God.
Brutal. So he says they did not know what they were doing, but they thought it was okay. They were just in another world, and they smelled like cows right off the farm. Not a dirty smell, just smelled like cows.
What an odd thing to add.
All of it's so odd. I can't imagine laughing at that. I'd feel for them.
Yeah.
Or I'd be like, good on them. One of the two.
Yep.
Yeah.
It feels pretty cruel to be laughing at. Anyway.
Dave and I'd be laughing.
Not until they left. Come on.
Yeah, then we'd listen back.
Shut the door.
Remember their smell? Like a cow.
Not dirty.
Not dirty.
But cow-like.
clean-
And so
Cow.
that said so because I love the smell of it. I used to go to our friend's dairy farm on
Just sniff the
holidays,
cows.
but it was just that smell it's nice. Love the smell of a cow.
I'm not sure I'm familiar.
All right, not sure if I should have said that out loud.
Very defensive. I love what I'm doing.
I love the smell of a cow.
Yeah, okay, that does sound weird. Now that once I heard it back,
Did you ever just go right up to one and just give it a real sniff?
No, I just meant the general.
You take one of those big ears and you say, I love the smell of you.
Fuck, I love a cow. I love a big animal.
You do. You do. No, I agree. You couldn't laugh in their face like that. That is so...
No. And it sounds like they were laughing secretly.
Yes, at least it sounds behind closed doors.
And they tried to say, like, I don't think they're ready. Maybe now's not the best time to spend all of your money.
That was a different guy who
that's a
said
different
that.
one,
Yeah.
Still.
But still, imagine he said they were all laughing. So yeah. The story goes that Austin paid for 1,000 copies of their record, Philosophy of the World, to be pressed, but the producer, Charlie Dreyer, disappeared along with 900 copies of the album, never to be seen again.
Wow.
Though NPR says this part of the story is unsubstantiated. That's just like part of the mythology of it now. Chusett agrees that it's unlikely that that's the case, saying, for Dreyer to steal them makes no sense. Dreyer went deeply in debt after borrowing tens of thousands of dollars for various recording projects, but there's no way hundreds of Philosophy LPs would have helped pay his creditors.
Yeah.
The album was unknown and worthless. It was also considered an artistic abomination, which is full on terms.
That is so brutal. Oh, wow.
The only reason Dreyer had possessed them was because Austin never bothered to claim the goods. The eventual disposition of those boxes remains a mystery. It's conceivable that at some point, since they were taking up valuable space, they were simply tossed in a dumpster.
Okay.
But the story has grown to
He ran off with them.
He knew that it was going to become this cult hit.
He spent the rest of his life in a cave listening to 900 LPs over and over.
Yeah, wearing them down one by one.
And honestly, loving his life in that cave.
He loved his
He
life.
loved his cave life.
Shag cave.
And his a cave wife. A rock.
Happy cave wife, happy cave life. The Wiggins returned to the Fleetwood studios a few years later. By then, though, they could play a little better after practicing for many hundreds more hours. But they hadn't improved so much as to convince the engineer. In fact, he pitied them, writing, "As the day progressed, I overcame my disappointment and started feeling sorry for this family paying $60 an hour for studio time to record this."
Oh. But again, so is the dad still not letting them listen to other music? He's not letting them see.
Yeah.
That would help them so much.
They go, we get it. Yeah.
I've been holding a guitar wrong.
Yeah.
The wrong way round.
But it is interesting because the people who appreciate it for some of these reasons.
Yeah.
That they weren't influenced by anything and they...
Do they really appreciate it, or is it just a thing that you say? Kurt, mate.
Yeah. Call in.
Let's know. Frank Zappa,
Call in.
Famously strange man. Do you just say you like it?
Yeah.
Because it's what everyone else doesn't say.
Potentially.
Maybe.
But it is it's quite a few people who've got on board.
Okay. Obviously, I haven't heard it, so I don't know how bad or good it is.
When you said that they're holding the guitar the wrong way, I imagined strings against your body and
rubbing,
then just...
rubbing it. Like sort of washboard.
I was thinking maybe at the end of the report, we'll pause the recording, listen to a couple of songs, and then you can talk about what you think.
Great.
And people at home can do the same.
I would love that.
Love that.
So as for the songs I recorded, I talked before about the one Who Are Parents.
Years later, that's made it.
So
it's still their number one.
Dot was the main songwriter, and as she was self-taught, the songs were kind of odd pop songs with odd meters, key changes, and fluctuating time signatures. According to Corey Grow, writing for Rolling Stone, the album contained Dot's songs about feeling like she didn't fit in, philosophy of the world, her deference for her parents, who are parents, her love for a cat, Foot Foot. The song was called My Pal Foot Foot. That's the song I've heard. I'll play that for you.
If you don't know that's a cat, it sounds so odd.
But I think it was, I heard it before I knew what it meant. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of bizarre and fun, but knowing, and it's like, oh, it's just literally a song about a cat.
My Pal Foot Foot.
And also she wrote about general confusion with songs like, Why Do I Feel? And What Should I Do?
It's like a robot.
It does sound like an AI.
Yeah. Why do I feel? Kill me. Kill me.
What is love? Some are happy while some have an inexplicable sadness about them that even she can't put her finger on years later. All are sung and played in unpredictable and unusual ways that won them their famous fans. The song My Pal Foot Foot has lyrics like, My pal's name is Foot Foot, Foot Foot. He always likes to roam. My pal's name is Foot Foot, Foot Foot. I never find him home. I go to his house, knock at his door. People come out and say, Foot Foot don't live here no more. In the end of the song, Foot Foot returns, but apparently real life did not.
Oh.
Another song called Things I Wonder had lyrics that went, There are many things I wonder. There are many things I don't. It seems as though the things I wonder most are the things I never find out.
That almost rhymes.
Well, I mean, she set up a pattern and broken it. I guess that's an interesting... Orlean sort of wrote that lyrics like this are sort of hard to tell. Are they brilliant or are they awful?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's almost hard to tell. Orlean says, is this the colloquial ease and dislocated syntax of a James Schuller poem or the awkward innermost thoughts of a speechless teenager? It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with James Schuller's work, Dave?
No, but I am familiar with...
Awkward teenagers.
Teenagers have no idea what they're doing.
The Shaggs continued playing weekly on Saturday nights in Fremont until 1973 when the town supervisors put an end to the shows. Apparently they were no one's really sure why, but it sounds like they were getting pretty full on. Like there was like borderline little riots and stuff.
Oh my God.
According to Orlean, Austin was furious, but the girls were relieved to end the grind of playing every Saturday night. They were getting older and had begun to chafe at his authority. Like the eldest was in her mid to late 20s by this stage.
Wow.
So she must have been a late teen when they were started performing.
Still being made to just play once a week, not really allowed to have a life.
Yeah. So they were beginning to sort of get over his authority, so much so that they started to quietly rebel against him. One of his daughters, Helen, fell for a man at one of the dances and ended up marrying him in secret.
Oh.
According to Eileen, she continued living at home for 3 months after the wedding, which Austin didn't even know about, because she was too terrified to tell him what she had done. On the night that she finally got up the courage to give him the news, he got out a shotgun and went after her husband. The police joined in and told Helen to choose one man or the other.
The police joined in. Do you mean they started chasing the husband?
Well, I know, that's what
sounds
Eileen
like.
said. But yeah, but it's like they're like, all right, your
Which
choice.
one?
Which one do you want us to take?
Who should
to
we shoot?
Save you from?
Who should we kill? We got to kill someone.
Dad or hubby?
Both.
Dad or hubby?
One, the other, both.
Huh?
All options are on the table. Neither. What? No, that wasn't
not
one
an
of the
option.
options.
I said one, the other, or both.
Yeah.
God, women.
Jeez. Listen.
It's a bit dim, this one.
So
What the fuck?
So the police made her choose and she left with her husband. It was months before Austin spoke to her again. Apparently, she was 28 years old at the time. So well and truly.
Fucking hell.
Oh, gosh.
I think some
Fucking hell.
of the ages I think have been a bit inconsistent with, because she was a teenager. But anyway, it's, when sometimes different sources
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
a
but it
bit
sounds like
skewed,
they were
but-
together for ages, though. They've really
Yeah.
given the music thing a
it
sounds
big
just-
crack.
Seems
Yeah,
like they've
that's
been
Saturday
playing.
Night Weekly for years.
Yeah,
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. So yeah, if they were late teens, it's not a shock to sort of be like, okay, yep, they're mid-20s now. That's wild.
During that time where they played, this guy stumbled upon the album, via those boxes sitting around. He was like, apparently one guy came through and he's like, this is weird and interesting. Take a box of them if you want. They're just sitting here. And that guy was like, this is really interesting. I think I could make something of this. And he went to one of the shows and he's the one going, it was strange the way everyone was dancing. He was the one saying they're like zombies. But then he decided in the end, he's like, he felt like he'd be taking advantage. Like they're not really in on what makes them interesting.
Yeah.
So he would feel bad to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's like, I think he saw the dad and how he treated him. He's like, it's just not quite right. But he said that driving back to Boston, I think, was really surreal. It was foggy. A cop car followed him for ages. And he's like, it was just everything about that night was very unnerving and surreal.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. But
that cop did think he was Helen's husband, to be fair.
He's like, do you want me to shoot you or shoot myself? Which one? I'm shooting someone here.
Yeah,
I'll shoot my car. I'll shoot my car.
Yeah.
Me or you? Which
Or
is
your
it?
car.
Or your car.
Final offer.
Or that tree. I gotta shoot something.
I got to shoot something.
I got a KPI to meet.
These bullets aren't going to shoot themselves.
Are you Helen's husband? Sorry.
Sorry, what? Oh. Things were fraying, but the band forged on. They continued to play locally at fairs and at the nursing home as well. They loved that polite response. Austin continued believing that the prophecy was going to come true. It was only a matter of time. So he believed it all the way through.
Austin, how much time?
But it was not to be. The band went into hiatus in 1975. This was brought on when Austin suffered a massive heart attack in his sleep and died at the age of just 47.
Wow.
Wow. Was that in the prophecy or?
Yeah, I don't think it was mentioned. So from then they're like, well, now that he's not making us be a band, they just they didn't break up, but they just stopped playing.
Yeah.
Which sort of suggests they didn't really want to be doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
that's
As soon as
right.
he's out, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, imagine it's tough, but like, I imagine there would have been a bit of relief
Yes.
to
Yeah.
their dad's passing, which is so sad.
It's really hard to know what to make of this story.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I think he's definitely the villain of the story.
Yeah.
And yeah.
To get to a point where your kids are in their 20s and aren't allowed to have lives, so much
Yes.
so that one of them rebels by getting married
Yeah.
and does that in secret. That's so sad.
Very
Yeah.
sad. It's sort of like from there on, after his time, it is a lot more positive, I think. Generally speaking. Kind of heartbreakingly, or maybe it's perfect, but according to Helen, The day he died was the same day they had finally played a version of Philosophy of the World that he had given them positive feedback on.
I think that's kind of nice, I guess. Yeah.
In the years after his death, the other two kids got married. The other two daughters got married and moved out of the family home. Austin's widow, Annie, soon sold the home and moved into a smaller place. The new owner of the old Wigan family home later said that Austin's ghost haunted the place. Like, he wasn't doing that for notoriety or anything. He was like, this place is haunted. So much so that he built a separate house on the property, just built a second house at the back and moved out of the house at the front, and ended up donating the front house to the local fire department to practice putting out fires on.
Set it on fire, guys. Burn that ghost.
Isn't that wild? I bet you didn't see that bit coming.
I thought he was going to say, you were going to say, and he let them, that's the new firehouse or something.
Yeah.
But he let it be the new firehouse. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I feel like if that house still existed, it would be a museum now, because the band now has worldwide fans, like a big cult following.
Really? Wow.
So that house could have been like I imagine that town would regularly just have people going there going, wow, this is the town, this is Shagville.
Wow.
Shagville, USA.
The local hall, maybe?
Yeah, true.
Where they played every Saturday night.
And apparently the hall is like everything in the town's kind of very low key, but the hall looks quite amazing. And one of these writers was like, they went there and like, this feels like some cool things could have happened here.
Wow.
So while the band never quite achieved the status of greatest in the world, the rare pressings of their album have become super sought after, and their music has been reevaluated over the years. It's still very divisive, but they have also accumulated many fans. The albums, those original albums, now go for a fortune, because there's not many of them, and they're real collector's items.
Wow.
Can I show you the cover?
Please.
I think you'll love it. And I wonder, what are you picturing? What are you picturing them to look like?
I'm picturing flowers, I reckon.
I was picturing something somewhat psychedelic, but I don't think, because that seems like they'd be in on it then.
They're wearing flowers on there.
Oh, wow. They look awesome.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Style icons, I would say.
So two of them are wearing matching outfits, but the drummer isn't. Drummer's wearing completely different.
They're wearing matching haircuts, though.
Matching haircuts on those sisters, yeah. Not good ones.
Okay.
But
Agree to disagree.
And the drummer seems to be playing half a drum kit.
Yes. It's described as a drum kit that is unplayable by some. They're like,
there is no
the
bass
setup
drum.
Of that drum there does not make any sense.
No, the way the snare's angled.
And the fact that they went with the double guitar, no bass setup for the most part is interesting. But they just didn't follow any rules. They didn't know the rules.
That's great.
According to Anastasia Tsiolkas, writing for NPR, the sisters' thoroughly off-kilter, atonal and arrhythmic songs have become legendary. They have been hailed as proto-punk pioneers. The Shaggs fans included Frank Zappa, who is often quoted as calling them better than the Beatles, but like Dave says, he was a quirky guy.
Naming his children Moon Unit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is also possibly an apocryphal claim anyway, but he definitely was right into them. Members of the band NRBQ, who asked the Shaggs for permission to reissue songs from their professional and home recording sessions, which made Philosophy of the World commercially available again, meant they reissued the album in 1980. And that was when it started finding a larger audience. Shortly after that reissue, critic Lester Bangs wrote about the Shaggs.
Oh, Lester Bangs. Lyndon B. Johnson, but Lester Bangs.
Sorry, baby, nominative determinism.
Lester be Lester.
Yeah, Lester Bangs wrote about the Shaggs in the Village Voice. They recorded an album up in New England that can stand, I think, easily with Beatles 65, Life with the Lines, Blonde on Blonde, and Teenage Jesus and the Jerks as one of the landmarks of rock and roll history. They can't play a lick, but mainly they got the right attitude, which is all rock and roll's ever been about from day one.
Wow.
Tsiolkas continues, interest in the Wigan sisters has continued to percolate over the ensuing decades. In 1999, the label RCA Victor re-released Philosophy of the World, and a short-lived off-Broadway musical about their life was produced in 2011. According to Grow, Kurt Cobain counted it among his all-time favourite albums. Rolling Stone included it in the upper half of its list of 40 greatest one-album wonders. Top 20 all-time one-album wonders.
Wow.
Amazing.
The Shaggs singer and guitarist Dot said, "It's hard to believe. I like those ones better than the worst ever band around, though."
Yeah, fair.
According to Shusett, over the ensuing decades after its release, Philosophy was declared by Frank Zappa as one of his all-time favourite records. Rolling Stone's 1996 Alt-Rockorama ranked it among the 100 most influential alternative releases of all time, the greatest garage recordings of the 20th century, and the 50 most significant indie records. So it's made a lot of these like all-time great lists. When Zappa raved about Philosophy in a 1976 Playboy poll, practically no one outside the Wigan clan and their neighbourly circle had heard it. As rare copies of the LP were discovered and cassettes began to circulate, other self-proclaimed fans came to include Bonnie Raitt, who said, "They're like castaways on their own musical island." Jonathan Richman called them the real thing, and Carla Bley said, "They bring my mind to a complete halt." Finally, this is my favourite quote about him, from Bruce D. Roadvolt from LA Weekly, said, "If we can judge music on the basis of its honesty, originality, and impact, then the Shaggs Philosophy of the World is the greatest record ever recorded in the history of the universe."
Okay.
That is a huge call.
Fair to say, very polarising band.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing how where it started and just it's been reevaluated over time?
Yeah.
And as music's evolved, they've remained unique.
Yeah.
And as music's evolved, people look back and go, "Oh, that's interesting. That's sort of like, that feels like an early version of the punk ethos, do it yourself. We don't know how to play, but we're playing anyway."
Listen to your dad.
Yeah. Why is love?
What are parents?
What are parents? Yeah.
Are they still alive?
Two of them are.
Whoa.
And one of them actually formed her own band. The others sort of moved away from music, but they've reformed to play, as they've been rediscovered. They've played at a few festivals and stuff, even recently. And yeah, I think Dot, the main songwriter, put her own band together and, plays and stuff. It's sick. I love it.
Do you know the name of that band?
Oh.
Are they anyone we would have heard of? They are the Spice Girls.
I think they're the Dot Wigan 3 or something like that.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Imagine seeing them at a festival. That's pretty cool.
But having no context and just seeing this band do something really weird, you'd be like,
probably, what are they, in their 70s, 80s now?
Yeah, so they were teens in the 60s. So I guess they were born in the 50s.
Amazing. And that's, like at a festival, and if you've never heard of them, like, we sound like we haven't.
So Dot and Betty reunited for shows in 99 and 2017. Helen passed away in 2006. But Dot put together the Dot Wigan Band and released an album in 2013 containing previously unrecorded Shaggs songs.
wow. That's such a long time to hold on to those songs. I don't remember jokes I used to do 2 years ago, but Dot's got songs from 50 years ago.
Well, it sounds like they had to play them thousands of times over
true.
and over.
And it's that formative time of your teens as well, where like Matt remembers ads from his youth.
Yeah, that's where you lock in. I can remember a song that me and a friend wrote in primary school. A couple of songs we wrote. That'll still be in my head somewhere. But yeah, like, I'll have to stop and try and remember your name sometimes. Because I didn't meet you when I was a child.
We edit it in seamlessly, but he does forget me quite often. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, the other thing I should probably mention, in 2001, a tribute album was released with all covers of their songs, and it was called Better Than the Beatles, a tribute to the Shaggs. Deerhoof is probably the biggest band maybe on there. But yeah.
Wow.
We'll pause for a second here, and if anyone wants to, check out the song My Pal Footfoot, sorry.
Yep.
And we'll be back in a second with Dave and Jess's reaction to that.
I'm ready.
Incredible stuff.
Oh, man.
So immediate thoughts?
Well, if that was the voice, my chair turned around the first 3 seconds. I hit that golden buzzer. I said, "You have got it."
What is it?
Drums that are completely out of time.
Oh, man.
Guitars that are playing a different song to the drummer, and vocals just over the top. So it's like 3 separate songs happening at the same time.
And here's the thing too, like I'm not a music expert, you know, I'm not a music historian.
And you're ready to admit that.
I'm ready to admit that I'm brave like that. But I also, you know, I'm also not a film buff, you know, an auteur. And sometimes I watch movies and I'm like, I hate this. And my real filmy friends love it. And I think sometimes movies can just be enjoyable and music should be nice to listen to. You know, it shouldn't be painful. That hurt.
The question is, would you rather listen to that again or spend 40 days and 40 nights eating small bricks covered in charcoal and Tabasco?
I'd probably listen to it again.
Yeah.
What an absolute fucking psycho that guy was. Oh, man.
I reckon that one definitely was more of a song in the classic sense than My Pal Foot Foot.
100%,
Yeah,
yes.
so
That had a hook and...
So for the people at home, we paused and we listened to 2 songs in the end. We listened to My Pal Foot Foot, which was the one that I was talking about where they're playing 3 separate songs at the same time. But the second track...
Philosophy of the World.
The title track.
It's more of a song.
The drums and everything.
The lyrics are kind of fun and... You know, it's just a simple idea. I just think works.
I just got the giggles because it was such a... Like, because I was that teenager at some point thinking I was having a very profound thought.
Yeah.
You know, but
the
it's
short people want what the tall people got.
Oh,
the tall
man.
people want what the short people got. You can't please anybody.
The grass is always greener. I think it's fantastic.
The girls with long hair want short hair.
Yes.
Oh, man.
My favourite was the people with the motorbikes, they want cars.
Yes.
The people with cars
That's
want
right.
motorbikes.
You know, it just makes you think.
That one seems like an easier one to solve.
Yeah.
You know, the tall, short thing, that's tricky.
Yeah.
But if you've got a motorbike and you want a car, you know, I reckon there's a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kind of into them. But I also, that My Pal Foot Foot is... That's not putting it on the background and going about your day.
That genuinely hurt my brain a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
That made me
challenging music.
It's challenging music. It made me anxious.
I think it would be challenging for them to recreate each time.
Yeah.
They're so out of
there's no way
with each other. To recreate it would be quite difficult, I imagine.
That's right. And if you didn't know any better and you were told they were like art school kids who knew how to play their instruments back to front and this was them mucking like breaking all the rules, then it would be like, oh yeah, this is important work. But because they don't know the rules, it's interesting. They don't even have any of that baggage.
Yeah.
So that's why some people love it. They're like, it's just a naive, sincere attempt at having a go with people who haven't learnt or mastered their instruments.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's interesting, and I find their story fascinating, and I love how how they've found a following.
Totally love that.
Yeah, no, good on them, and it sounds like maybe their lives were a bit nicer once they were out of the shadow of their dadager.
Yes.
And the prophecy.
Yeah, their proprietor, I think he likes to be referred to as shag manager.
Also the Shaggs.
I think the story is...
He came up with a name and he got it wrong on his badge. Come on.
Yeah. I think the story's amazing and I'm rooting for them as people.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't mean I have to listen to their music.
No, of course not.
Because that hurt my brain.
No music's for everyone.
No, that's right.
And I would say this more than anything.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Very divisive.
Very niche. People, like a small amount of people love it.
Yeah.
I'd say a majority of people would be like, what the fuck is this?
Even you said, even you. You said, Matt, that listening to the second time you started feeling.
Yeah, it was interesting. The first time I listened to them, I'm like, whoa, this is, there's a lot going on. Yeah. It's hard to take it in. But the second time I started, and then the third time then started,
I think
started getting it a bit more, but I think that's the case with a lot of music.
So much,
especially harder
stuff that becomes your favourite songs of all time. You may not have loved the first or second time you heard it.
I think often that's the case. Songs that are easy to get straight away, I think I can tire from quicker.
You get bored of it
because it's so easy to.
Oh yeah, I got that.
To get into
2 minutes. Yeah. So maybe, who knows? If I listen to that a few more times, it would be one of my faves.
But it's also one of those funny things like. Some people will be like, you've really got to give it a try. It's like, but why do I have to work so hard to?
Yeah.
Because you've got to want to. You've got to be open to it as well.
At the end of the day, it's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
To enjoy. So if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to force it sometimes. It's okay.
It's really your call.
Yeah. Live your life.
Yeah. If anyone out there's going, oh, I don't want to have to.
Don't.
Jess and I, not Dave, are saying you don't have to.
You don't have to.
I'm saying you have to. Homework this week. Listen to the Shaggs every night.
Yep.
10 times.
Yes.
Before bed.
Yep.
And then write a book report.
Okay, great. A
On-
book
on a
report on a
different-
song.
A different topic, yeah.
Yeah.
You
On a book.
got to broaden the mind.
Okay.
Maybe on the book Songs in the Key of Z.
Yeah, fantastic book. I hear.
Fantastic
Kia
book.
Z.
Kia Z. Oh, that's a beautiful
Name for a boy or girl.
name for a book. Kia Z.
Come on, Kia Z.
Come on, Kia Z.
Kia Z.
Kia Z.
Where are your shoes?
Rolls off the tongue. Well, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show where we thank some of our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you want to get involved, go to patreon.com/2goonpod. It would be so nice to have you there. There's a bunch of different levels, and depending on the level, you get different rewards. Or reward seems weird. It's not a reward. It's just a thing that you get.
treat.
A treat.
Different treats.
Yeah.
Different
what,
feats.
What are some of those treats, Bob?
You can vote on topics that we do. You can be in our Facebook group, which is the nicest corner of the internet. You get early access to live show tickets and also 3 bonus episodes a month. 3.
3.
One
as,
for each of us.
as well as the back catalogue of bonus episodes. So we're closing in on 200 bonus eps.
So good.
Love it.
It's just the best group. The comedy festival last month, hung out with a bunch of patrons, and it was so good. Met a few, travelled from far.
Yeah.
Connor from Perth.
Yep.
Shake from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Wild.
We met a couple of people at your show when Dave and I came who'd come from Brighton in the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Front row of your show. You even did a bit of crowd work with the.
I shook their hands. I didn't realize. That's so cool.
Very cool.
Legends. Anyway, the first thing we like to do in this section of the show is called the fact, quote, or question section. I actually think it's got a jingle. Go something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
He always remembers the ding. She always remembers the sing. And to get involved in this, you go to the Sydney Shanberg.
Sydney Shanberg.
Level.
Deluxe level.
And then you get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or
Yeah.
a joke, or really whatever you like.
Whatever you want.
And I don't read them out until I read them out. You also get to give yourself a title. We do 4 each week. I should also say, if you don't have the cash to get involved with Patreon, obviously that's fine. We just really appreciate you listening.
Yeah, we also take check. So that's fine.
And you don't need to be a patron to suggest topics. I think sometimes people think that.
Yeah,
there's a
anybody
link in
can.
the show notes. You can click on. Anyone can suggest a topic at any time.
And even just I don't know, posting about it on socials or telling a friend about it, recommending it to people. That a lot of people have found us because somebody else told them about us.
So nice.
So, that's an amazing way to support us.
We really
If
appreciate
you want to
that.
chuck some cash at us, that's so lovely, but you don't have to. We love you regardless.
If you want to make it a bit of fun, put the cash in a soda can.
Yes.
And then chuck it at us.
Yes.
While we're performing.
My preference,
Unlistenable comedy.
Sprite.
Oh, okay.
I like to be hit with Sprite. It's not my favourite to drink,
Oh,
but
okay, yes. Yeah.
it's fine.
All right. So here are the fact, quotes, or questions this week. First one comes from Claire Noria, which I believe is a typo and it's Claire Norris, but I'll say Claire Noria just in case.
Okay.
Maybe Claire's been misspelling her name previously.
Yeah.
Right. Noria is a nice name.
That's
I
a
like
good
it.
name.
Beautiful. If that is a typo, Claire, I'd consider it.
Yeah. Think about it. And Claire's title is Pizza Eater.
Oh my God, Claire.
Me too.
Big time.
Me too, Claire.
A little too much, to be honest.
I've
Claire.
had a couple this week.
Yeah.
I've had a couple.
couple?
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Nice.
That's a good week if I have pizza twice.
Yeah. It's a good week.
It's a great week.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I've had a great week. And Claire's asking a question, writing, "Hi all, hope everyone is well.
Thank you.
I'm well.
Everyone loves pizza, but my question though is, what style of pizza is your favorite? If you don't know, may I suggest touring all the major areas in America that claim to have a different style?
Oh, okay.
Okay. I see
Like
what
a
you're
deep
saying.
dish.
That's right. And then the huge ones in New York.
Yep.
That are just like pretty basic, but real big, and you fold them and you shove them in your
So there's a
grill.
New York style pizza place that's got a few chains open in Melbourne now.
Oh, right.
And oh my God.
You like?
Oh yeah. I'm a regular customer.
There's one in Brisbane near the old Hey Ya bar that I used to get a slice at after. I think we did after we did Razzle Dazzle.
Yes, I reckon we had a slice
The
there.
perfect nightcap to a Razzle Dazzle show. It's a slice of American style pizza.
Delish.
So Claire says, growing up in New York, I'm partial to New York style, but have come to enjoy the occasional Chicago style. Cheers. I've never had it doesn't look good to me.
No, me either.
But when we eventually go there, I say this every year, hopefully this year.
Yeah.
Been saying that for 7 years?
About that.
But I will try it.
I'll give it a go.
And I'll try it with an open heart and an open mind.
And an open mouth. And an open butt. For when that cheese just doesn't sit right.
Oh, my God, Jess, don't take it there. You know I'll be thinking about that months from now when we're sitting down in Chicago, the Windy City.
I'll remind you.
The Windy City for a reason. All that cheese.
Too much cheese.
But, yeah, I don't know if I could tell you what style beyond that. I do like the New York style. I've had New York pizza in New York.
Yeah.
What about, should we just say what our pizza order of preference is?
Yeah, sure.
Because I like to, I will say, I also not familiar with all these different American styles, but I usually like a thin base.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Love a thin base, maybe a wood-fired, cooked on a bit of stone.
Love a wood fire,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Then I'm talking tomato sauce, of course.
I'm a tomato sauce based guy too.
Yep.
I'm into that. Then I've got, I enjoy just a mozzarella cheese.
Yes.
Yep, can't go wrong.
With you so far.
Then I love a potato pizza.
Okay, you've gone too far.
I'm
You've gone
out.
too far.
I love-
No, I do
You've
like.
double starched
I
it.
love potato, gorgonzola,
Yep.
walnuts, and then a bit of rocket over the top.
Oh yeah, okay.
Walnuts.
Walnuts.
Well, how do you say it?
Walnuts.
Wall.
No, but I think, that's how it's spelled, but I just never heard anyone say
Walnuts.
that. Walnuts.
Well, they are walnuts.
I don't mind.
That's a
potato
fancy pizza.
I feel walnuts the way I said that, but
That is real affluent East cuisine.
yeah, love a potato on a pizza. And then if you're putting any meat on it, maybe like a thinly sliced ham, prosciutto,
Yeah, yum.
a jamon of some description.
I grew up with, I always loved the Aussie pizzas first, which was with an egg on it. I don't know how that became an Aussie pizza, and then I went to Hawaiian, but the ham back in the day at the suburban pizza places was horrible.
Like that shredded
rubber.
stuff, and then it just blackens.
Yeah,
It's cooked too much.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's no good. But yeah, but I think if I'm having meat on a pizza, which I'm not, it would be salami or pepperoni. But what I have, you finished?
Yeah, that's my well. And to
see
drink.
how far you go with me here.
Okay.
I'm happy with thin or medium or whatever. The base, I like a variety. Tomato sauce.
Yep.
Cheese.
Tick, tick.
Mushrooms.
You've lost me.
Okay, I'm half in.
Capsicum.
Yep.
Okay.
Kalamata olives.
Okay.
Back in.
Yep.
Distill an olive.
Pineapple.
Yep.
No.
Maybe some herbs. Some oregano. Am I saying that right? Oregano.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Maybe some basil.
Yep.
And that's how I would.
Wow.
Great.
I like it. It's pretty
think-
simple. But
I
Yeah,
think
very old school, simple.
The nice part is that if we go out for pizzas, we don't have to share, and that's fun. I think
we're discovering that.
I'm happy to. Were you done with that?
you're not getting a slice of mine.
You will hear a few. Oh, you gonna?
You gonna finish that?
I finished mine. I was just wondering if you're gonna.
You gonna bid that one?
I think, Jess, if I know your order, you keep it very simple.
Very simple, like the Italians intended.
Mamma mia.
A margarita, a
Yep.
cheese pizza for the US. Delicious. Simple.
Yeah.
If you have to go anything more than that, is there any others that you ever?
I
you go
like
in?
others.
Okay, yep.
But
I've known you to order many margaritas.
Yeah,
over the years.
yeah, it's my
You love
favorite. Because and a lot of the time people are like, "Oh, I just want to try something different," but I'm always like, "But I'll be thinking I should have just had a margarita."
Yeah.
I love
do.
it.
Margarita's the safest bet, and that's one I'll often have. If every other pizza's got potato and bullshit on it. If I'm in the right mood, I'll have a potato pizza very occasionally. But the double starch
With a bit of
doesn't make sense to
rosemary
me.
and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a nice little treat.
Rosemary
Yeah.
is very nice.
I do
Rarely
like-
in the mood for that.
I do
When they're
like
putting
pineapple on
zucchini
pizza.
in. Yeah, pineapple.
I'm happy with like a veggie, like chuck a shit ton of veggies on there, and delicious. Love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I sometimes miss a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, it's pepperoni.
Oh man,
Oh, man. Great question, Claire.
fantastic
Man,
question.
you've taken us to Flavour Country.
think
And
we-
you've timed this interestingly because we haven't eaten lunch.
Yeah.
Possible that we find a pizza place.
Yeah, so can we go get pizza? Do you notice that Godfather's on Sydney Road is now just called Father's Pizza?
Ah.
Or they like, we want to get the secular people in. You know?
That's the place that I asked for a toasted cheese sandwich and the guy said, "You'll have a margarita pizza." I said, "Oh no, it's on the board. Can I have a toasted sandwich?" He goes, "You'll have a margarita pizza."
Did you speak to the Godfather himself?
Yeah, the Godfather.
Wow.
The father.
Rest in peace, maybe.
Did you
The
enjoy
proprietor.
that? Did you enjoy that margarita pizza?
I did.
He was right.
He knew.
He was
Yeah,
right.
You just got to trust.
He said, "Thank me later," and I did.
Thank you so much for that question, Claire. The next one comes from Drew Forsberg, aka Master Blaster. Dave just coughed up a lung there.
That's funny. What's he blasted?
The Master Blaster, that was West Indian cricketer was nicknamed the Master
Really? Who's
Blaster.
the Master Blaster?
You
Was it a
Google
bowler?
it while I
I
read
will do.
batsman. I think maybe Viv Richards.
Oh, I blasted around. Okay.
And Drew's asking a question, writing, "Who runs Bartertown?" Okay.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
No answer.
Huh.
Who runs
Who runs
Bartertown?
Bartertown? I don't know if I understand. Let me Google, see what that means.
Oh, is it a joke though? Is that we were supposed to say, "I don't know," and then you read out the answer? And we're like,
No, that's all is written.
And while you Google that, I'll read out what I've Googled. Master Blaster, that's a nickname for Sachin Tendulkar,
Ah.
the Indian cricket player.
Oh.
Also called the Little Master, which I've heard before. But
Yeah, I
Not the
don't think
Master
he's
Blaster.
the Master Blaster.
Well, the internet says so.
That's what's come up. If I've Googled Master Blaster cricket.
Viv Richards, the Master Blaster.
That's as well, really. Well,
Yes.
Sachin's got the whole front page all to himself these days.
Well, that's interesting because he obviously came later than Viv. Sir
Yeah.
Viv. I once saw Sir Viv speak at a charity luncheon. It might have even, was it maybe even the day that we recorded the Bermuda Triangle episode?
Wow. Do you remember anything from that day?
Viv was fantastic.
Yeah, when you Google Master Blaster, Viv Richards videos come up saying Viv Richards, the original Master Blaster,
Thank
or
you.
Viv Richards, the real Master Blaster.
Yes,
Cop
now we're
that
talking.
Sachin.
So I've looked up who runs Bartertown.
Yeah.
Something comes up, Auntie Entity. Bartertown is ruled primarily by Auntie Entity, though Master Blaster openly and publicly claims to run Bartertown, forcing Auntie to endorse their leadership through energy embargoes. Oh, Mad Max. That's in a Mad Max thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds
Drew,
like,
is this what you wanted us to
yeah,
do?
is this
Well,
the fun you hoped we would have?
I laughed at Master Blaster, so that it's
But it's
worth
also,
for me.
yeah, because question is normally like a question of, but that's more like a trivia question, which
Yeah,
I like
that's good.
I like how Drew's taken that in a different direction.
Yeah.
Fantastic work, Drew.
Clever stuff.
And I've seen the most recent movie in that
the Fury
series.
Road.
And I've seen the first one, but yeah, I really should watch all of them.
You really should.
I really should. Australian cultural history.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Michael DeRizzi, aka Dragon of the West.
Cool.
And Michael's offering us a suggestion, writing, "A long time ago, I asked you three if you had seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, and your answers were a round of no's. Have you seen it since? Keeping in mind that only virgins haven't seen the show."
Well, I haven't.
Well, Dave obviously hasn't. I'm wondering, have I done an episode of Primates about it? If so, then I've watched it, but otherwise I have not.
I have not.
And is he referring to the movie or the TV show that we should have watched?
Oh, oof. It doesn't say. There's both, obviously.
Yeah, that was a 2010 movie and then 3 seasons of an animated cartoon.
No, it doesn't look like I've done an episode on primates. So I feel like I would have remembered otherwise. But no, that I believe maybe there's a primates thing involved in it, because I think it's been suggested before. But I've heard it's fantastic.
People do love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I haven't even seen the last Avatar movie about the blue people. So, and that one has been seen by most people. Anyway, thank you very much, Michael.
Sorry to let you down, Michael.
yeah.
Still on the list.
If it is primates related, maybe I'm thinking of something else. I'll have to watch it and do a pod about it. The final one this week comes from Stephen Edmonds, a man was saw around the comedy festival last month.
Appreciate your support, Stephen.
One of the great
of the
Melbourne
best.
comedy community people.
Yeah.
Great supporter of the scene. Stephen's title is Apparent Influencer of the Fact Quote Question Brag Suggestion Recipe Joke or Other List. And Stephen is offered another recipe. He really did bring the recipes into the
Absolutely
forefront.
changed the game forever.
What's this one going to be?
I was going to try and make a joke about the definition of staples, but the meaning is broader than I thought. So let's go straight to a recipe for a tea cake using what should be common ingredients.
I love it. Do you know the other day I was in the supermarket just like grabbing, what did I need? Honey. That was it. And then I just stopped for a while at like the cake mixes and I just really thought about just baking a whole cake. I don't have anyone to share it with. Was just going to eat it myself. And then I thought, walk away, Jess. Walk away.
Let it go.
Well done. Well done to walk away.
I could have brought you some cake.
That's true.
Fuck!
I would have eaten that cake.
And then I could have eaten like half a cake, brought you a slice each, and not felt bad about it.
Back when I was a trolley boy,
Oh, no.
I didn't have the best eating habits on my
Yep.
breaks. And I've told you about the
wow.
triple Mars bars and the 6-pack of donuts and
Yep.
the 2 litres of chocolate Big M.
There's another
But have
one.
I ever told you about a period where I would buy a tea cake and eat it like a biscuit?
You were what, late teens, early 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that like boys of that age, teenagers in general, eat a lot. But the things I've watched my brother and then my cousins eat as they've hit that age, the quantities and the choices, you're like, the fuck
Yeah.
is going on? So I think that's fantastic.
But it's funny because that's why guys get to a certain age and then go, whoa, where'd this stomach come from?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because we didn't realize that what we were doing was unnatural and unsustainable.
Against God.
Yeah, that's right. All of a sudden, I've been eating healthier over the last 10 years and I've put on so much weight when back then I didn't put on any. Anyhow, doesn't matter.
Skinny people want what fat people have. Fat people want what skinny people have.
Oh, beautiful lyric
To quote
from
those songs.
the philosophy of the world.
And people with motorbikes want what cars.
That's right. Short hair, want long hair,
Yeah.
etc.
And it doesn't. I'm not saying that I'm not unhappy with my weight. Oh my God. All right. So Stephen's recipe goes like this: 60 grams butter,
Got that.
125 grams caster sugar,
Yep, I've got caster sugar.
1 large wet egg,
I've got a large wet egg.
beaten,
Okay.
The wetter the better.
a defeated egg, 1/3 cup of milk.
Yep, I've got milk.
Got milk?
I hope Skinny's okay.
Not for me. 200 grams of self-raising flour. Cream together butter and sugar. Then mix in egg. Gradually add milk and flour, mixing lightly. Pour into greased and lined 18 centimeter round pan. Bake at 190 degrees Celsius for 30 to 35 minutes. Some modifications. Cinnamon. Sprinkle on a mixture of caster sugar and cinnamon before baking.
Yum.
Banana. Before mixing in milk and flour, add half a cup of mashed banana.
No.
Sliced apple. This is the ones I would have
Ooh.
at Eat Like a Biscuit.
An apple one.
Yeah. Spiced apple before baking. Cover with thinly sliced apples and sprinkle with cinnamon and sugar. That was
Yeah,
the
yum.
kind I had. It was apples, slices of
So
apples
it's
on the
fruit.
top.
So that's a great
Yes.
work
Yep.
snack.
Yeah, that's
On a
right.
15-minute break,
Yeah, low GI.
absolutely low GI.
Need that burst because I'm out there pushing
not
a
low GI.
lot of trolleys. High GI, even better.
Yeah. High. Yeah. Quick energy.
Yeah. I need it now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for that fantastic recipe.
Love that.
Bob, please, next week, bring in a Stephen Edmonds tea cake.
All I need is self-raising flour. I think I only have plain flour, but I could make that. And I'm putting cinnamon on it. Don't you fucking worry about that.
Anyway, thank you, Stephen, Michael, Drew, and Claire. The next thing we like to do is shout out to a few of our other great guests. Jess, you normally come up with a bit of a game based on the topic?
Yeah, what about we name we the title of their most famous song, like
yeah,
the
great.
Foot one.
Yeah.
What's
do you
it
think,
called?
My Pal's Name is
My
Foot
Pal's
Foot.
name. I know that's
Foot
not their
Foot.
most famous song, but it's like
Yes,
our favourite
it's
of
our
theirs.
favourite.
Absolute classic.
To us, that's their
Yeah.
iconic. But we kind of like underground Shaggs a lot.
Yeah.
You know, your mainstream types and
Yeah.
your mainstream types like Zappa and Cobain.
Oh, such mainstreams.
They like philosophy of the world, but us, we like some of the deeper cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deeper the better.
Everybody knows Philosophy of the World. Like, yeah, okay.
yeah.
But like, I have actually listened to the
Yeah.
album. Okay.
Yeah. My pal's name is Foot. If I can kick us off, I'd love to thank, I don't even wait for your response, but I'd love to thank from, address unknown. Can only assume from somewhere deep within the fortress of the moles, I guess. It's Sam Wise Often Smith.
Sam Wise, Often Smith.
And Sam Wise Often Smith. What was Sam Wise's song again, Bob?
Oh, that little red door over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That was big as well.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Like as far as Deep Cuts Go,
Yeah.
that one sort of became a live show staple, even though it was
Totally.
never officially released as a single.
Which is interesting because it's such a high concept song.
Yes.
So really cool stuff.
Yeah. When Samwise plays it, it's the only song Samwise can play because it takes 3.5 hours.
That's right. But it's an absolute journey.
Including a 45-minute drum solo,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is, some people call it the halftime, but
Yeah.
I watch it all.
Yeah. I don't go to the bar. I piss my pants. And I don't even go to the toilet.
I don't go to the bar.
There were two thoughts that I meshed together there. Thank you very much, Samwise. The next person I have to thank is from Teignmouth, or Teignmouth probably in
I think
Devon.
it's Tinmouth because
Tinmouth.
I once did an
Oh.
episode that was set around there.
I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You've just saved me a few tweets.
Yeah, the Tinmouth Electron. That was the Race Around the World episode. Wow.
Teignmouth
Yeah.
in Devon, where they do scones correctly in Great Britain. I'd love to thank Owen Barlow.
Owen Barlow, whose famous song was Vacuuming Up a Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's a beautiful metaphor.
And it features a live vacuum in the background.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
it's a real punk song, just vacuuming. I'm vacuuming up a storm,
Yeah.
for example.
Not many people know that's a real vacuum.
Yeah. We thought, well, I hadn't assumed until just then it was created via amp distortion.
No. Pure vacuum.
Pretty cool stuff.
And Owen going through a vocoder. But no, real vacuum.
Dude, routed his
vacuum.
vocals.
It's actually kind of
through a vacuum.
disappointing to find that out.
Sorry.
In a way. Great work, Owen. Beautiful song. And finally from me, oh my gosh, from the Windy City, home of the deep dish
Oh,
in
too much
Chicago,
cheese.
Illinois. It's Corey J. Tour. Corey J. Tour.
And Corey's song.
Corey's song is My Mama Loves a Muffin.
Oh, wow.
It's so funny.
Brackets.
Yeah.
Chocolate chips optional. Close brackets.
Because we were just talking about baking as well. So that's funny.
It's weird how my mind works.
It's just,
You write what you know.
Yeah.
that's right.
And I know my mama loves them. She doesn't. I've never seen her eat a muffin.
Really? Gosh.
You've never seen your mum eat a muffin.
No.
Pay more attention to your mum.
Not even a blueberry muffin?
Yeah, I
That's
don't
so
know.
good.
I don't know if she's a muffin. I don't know if she goes. Yeah, definitely. She makes a great trifle.
Oh.
Great.
My favourite. Mum's trifle. Fantastic.
Okay, we're definitely hungry.
Yeah.
Hey, you want me to thank some of these beautiful
Please.
people? I would like to thank also from location unknown, probably deep within that fortress, it's Lee Roberts.
Lee Roberts. My house's name is Hand.
My house's name is Hand in brackets. Good on you, Lee Roberts. Your house's name is Hand.
And I love that song, Lee.
Pat him on the head and say,
Yeah.
great work.
Good job. Great job.
Great job.
I would also like to thank from London in the greatest of Britons, Peter.
Peter.
I love someone who goes by one name.
Yeah.
Peter.
It's bold.
Yeah, I assume it's the organisation.
Oh, yeah, because it's spelled P-E-T-A. This is good.
And Peter's song is obviously, is that a camera in my shower head?
Oh my God.
In brackets, the answer is no.
No.
Thank goodness. Peter had a bit of a freak out, dismantled the shower head and found out, oh no, I'm fine.
Could a camera, you've made me so paranoid all of a sudden. Can a camera see through those tiny little holes?
Nah, surely not.
Surely not. Surely the technology's not there yet. Surely.
Each hole is a camera.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's looking at you like a spider would.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
those little eyes.
I like that.
No.
I would like to thank from Davenport in, what's this?
Iowa, I reckon.
In Iowa. Fantastic.
Ooh.
It's Tyne Reich or Tyne Reich.
Teinreich.
That's amazing.
Tyne Reich, famous for their song, of course, which was Teeth Taste Funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
But it's a song that makes you think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does. They do taste a bit funny.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was like some deep extra meaning, but it was just a song about how they did not like lolly teeth.
Yeah, there's candy lollies that are shaped like teeth.
Yeah.
But you don't control your art once it's out there in the world. It's open to the, the consumer, which I think of all art is consumed. We're just products. We being art. Well, I think of myself as art.
I agree.
We need to get to the
I'm
end of
going to
this.
thank some people.
Thank you.
I would love to thank from Bulverde in Texas, Sarah Busha.
Oh, the boosh.
Oh, the Sarah.
So good to have you involved. Dave, there's a few email addresses. I'm not going to dox anyone that you would love. And Sarah Bush is one that I think you would be right into.
I did have a section of my stand-up show this year about going through emails, if anyone would want to share their old Hotmail or Yahoo accounts. But you've got a great one, Sarah.
That's a beauty.
You like Lee Roberts' one as well?
Big fan.
Oh, yes.
That did actually get my attention before. Great work, Lee Roberts. And Sarah Busher, of course, famous for their number 4 hit, top 4 ain't bad.
Whoa.
Folding paper by day, eating chicken by night.
Yeah. I love that one because it's like a metaphor. So powerful.
And it's a roller coaster of a song, a real rhapsody type song.
Absolutely. It goes for 9 minutes.
Really takes
That's
you
the
on a
radio
journey.
edit.
Yeah.
So thank you to Sarah. Also from me, I would love to thank from deep within the Fortress of the Moles. We can only assume location unknown. I did that the other way around, but whatever. I would love to thank Kim Arthur.
King Arthur.
Kim Arthur.
Oh, Kim Arthur.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. And Kim Arthur's song was, of course, Put That Little Ditty Down Over There.
Put that little ditty down over there.
Country song.
Over there meaning in the studio.
That's right.
Lay that
Lay that
tune down.
track.
Lay that track
Yeah, you walked
down.
into the studio. They said, "Hi, I'm here to record a hit record." Well, get in there and put that little
ditty
down
over there.
pointing to the microphone.
That's
And
right.
Kim said, I've just got an idea.
Give me 5 minutes and wrote an incredible track.
Yeah.
So
Great work, Kim.
beautiful work, Kim.
Excellent.
You're a king to me.
Finally, I'd love to thank from Burnley in Great Britain, Pilkey, 1998.
Oh, that's a beautiful name. I love when it, like, how much easier to get a personalised plate when your name is like that. you know?
Yes, right?
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Anya Pilkey.
Pilkey, obviously famous for the song.
I want to have a pie tomorrow. Today I'll have a sand.
And what's that song called?
Did I not?
Oh, you were just singing part of the song. What's it called?
Oh, it's called Pie Tomorrow.
Yep.
Sand Today.
That's nice.
Open brackets. Your love is my love, and I'm yours
Yes.
forever
Yeah.
and a day.
I love that one.
Close bracket.
My wedding song.
Beautiful.
I'm not married, but
If anyone out there is good at a bit of artwork, I know a few of you are, Simon. No pressure, but
feel free.
I want to see the back of this album we've just made with the track listing. No pressure. but-
Available now for $24.95, featuring the hits of the summer.
Thank you so much to Pilkey, Kim, Sarah, Tyne, Peter, Lee, Corey, Owen, and Sam Wise. The last thing we need to do is invite a few people into the Triptych Club. A few trippies, as I'm known to call them that. And Jess, how does this work again?
Well, if you support us over at patreon.com on the Sydney Scheinberg level, no, the shout out level or above, for 3 consecutive years, we welcome you into the Triptych Club. It's an exclusive club. It's I think of it as an airport lounge, but like a really cool one.
I think of it as like a 1960s club, a lot of velvet,
Yeah.
a lot of booths.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's got everything you need. We have a bar, we have live music, we have cocktails.
We got meals.
The cocktail this week is called the Shaggs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just whatever I can find and I just shake it up real good.
Yes. And
So-
Check it out.
I've built a new room to honour this week's episode, and it's wall-to-ceiling shag pile carpet.
It's called the Shag Room.
It's called the shag room, and I'm the shag
Palace.
manager.
Shag Palace. You can go in there, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Shag manager.
No rules in the palace.
Shag Palace. Thank you. Dave,
Do you want to go and have a read? Fine.
hey, be my guest.
Yeah.
But you will need earplugs.
Dave, you usually book a band.
You're never going to believe it.
What?
I've been in talks with these people for a long time.
What,
You're
Dave?
kidding.
So long that only 2 members are still surviving. But they will be appearing. We have got live in the club The Shaggs.
No
my
way.
This has never happened. We've done the episode and then they've turned up on the episode.
Get the fuck
incredible.
out.
What?
Are you kidding me?
How did
Yeah.
you?
Dave, this is a cruel prank.
Yeah.
Are you messing with us? Oh, it is.
Oh, okay.
No, this is not a prank.
Okay, well,
Oh,
that
wow.
was
No.
the prank.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
sorry, prank ya.
My heart is leaping.
I'd never even heard this band before, but I'd read about people talking about them, so I went, you know
Heard
what?
about people talking about them.
Yeah. That's called a quote. And I read those quotes and I said, you know what? I'm going to book this band. I'm going to take a
Wow.
punt. And then you told me how good they are. Listen to them.
I can't wait to hear my pal's name is Foot live.
Live. And we can all yell out the backup vocals. Foot.
Foot. What is parents?
Foot.
What is
I love it. I'm genuinely, I'm in. I'm all the way in. Now, there's only 4 members this week. Dave, you ready? You're standing up on the stage. You're the MC. You're the hype man. You're going to bring them in, make them feel right at home. Everyone who's already in, hundreds of people already in the club. They're there chanting your name. Dave is hyping them up. He's hyping you up. Jess is hyping Dave up.
Yep.
I'm reading your name out. I've got the clipboard. I'm at the door, lifting the velvet rope. When you hear your name, jog in, bring in a bit of energy in, and Dave will really lift you up. Here we go.
Dave, do you need a little pre-hype
bit of a
bump
zhoosh,
hat?
please? Oh, yeah, come on.
Just a little bump hat?
And
There you go.
consider me patted.
First up, from Valensbæk Strand in Copenhagen in Denmark, it's Philip Galsgaard.
Oh,
Look, I was feeling a bit defensive tonight, but you're here and now I've let down my Philip Galsgaard.
yes! Be vulnerable!
Yes.
From St Kilda in Melbourne here, it's Alex Stewart.
Who knew it? It's Alex Stewart.
I believe that could be my sister.
That's your sister, yes.
You bloody
You
legend.
believe? Yeah, that's...
You're in the Triptych Club, you goddamn legend. Welcome in. Make yourself at home, obviously. From Ventura in California, yay, it's Christina Gonzalez.
Please Ventura on in, Christina.
And finally, from Mawson Lakes in South Australia, it's Tessa Weber.
Oh, I thought this person was from Awesome Lakes. It's Tessa Weber.
Welcome in, Tessa, Christina, Alex, and Philip. You are all legends. And please, mi casa, su casa. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Really, there's nothing else left to do apart from, oh no, maybe there's a few things to say, Bob.
Just that everybody should wash their butts.
Do it.
And listen to the Shaggs.
I dare
Listen
you.
to the Shaggs.
I dare you to do both.
You can, like we said before, you don't have to be a Patreon to suggest a topic. So if there's a story you would like or you think would make for a great topic, chuck it in the hat.
Hit us up.
We love to hear about them. You can find us on social media at Do Go On Pod. DoGoOnPod.com is our website where you can find info on live shows and check out previous episodes, all that good stuff. And I reckon boot at home, Davey boy.
Hey, we'll be back with another episode next week, but until then, I'll say thank you and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.